Welcome to Morally Corrupt, a show here on the Ringer Reality feed. I'm Rachel Lindsay. She's Chelsea Stark-Jones, and we're in a new studio.
We're in a new studio. I got a shout out. Spotify creative producer Jonathan Ratliff. This looks amazing. There's so many cute details, you guys. Like behind Rachel is Vita Tequila. We got Vanderpump Rosé, Skinny Girl Margaritas. And we have an OG book, which is like our namesake.
Yeah.
The namesake book. The Morally Corrupt Faye Resnick's Nicole Brown Simpson's book, which is insane. Like I didn't even know they still published it.
I didn't either. It looks like it was published 25 years ago. But it's here along with Erika Jayne's book, Carol Radziwill. Did I say that right?
Radziwill, Bad Mormon.
And of course, Bad Mormon.
I
feel like I didn't dress the part. Like now this feels like we're giving a reunion setting here. And next time I need to make sure that I'm dressed the part.
I'm in my like orthopedic sneakers.
But you're with child.
So we're fine.
But next time I just feel like it feels it just feels comfortable and homey. So hopefully you guys get that feel too as you're watching and listening to this podcast. Okay, so news of the week. Some really detailed things going on, so we're just gonna jump right into it.
Yeah,
start off on a high note with some good positive news.
Yeah.
Ubah is engaged, and not only is she engaged, we get to see her man, which it's the first time I've seen him. Now I don't know if you've seen him before.
I've seen him.
I don't follow on social, so I was like, oh wow, that's Ubah's man.
Yes. He's a very good-looking man.
Very good-looking man, Connecticut man, as he was known on the show. You see, there's snapshots of it. She's clearly taken aback, off guard, thrilled, excited. We're excited for Ubah because even though we've only known her for 2 seasons, we just know what she wants for herself.
Yeah.
We know some of her loss, some of her gains, and it's just really happy and beautiful to see. But I'll be honest, Chelsea, as soon as I saw it, I thought, cameras could have been there. Could have been caught on cameras. Not that she would have let us, but at least like there could have been an after party.
A reaction to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I first of all, she looked so happy. Like her smile, her like happy tears. It was really like the photos are really sweet. Cameras should have been there, but even if she were on the show and they were picked up like they should be currently, I don't know if she would allow them there because we hadn't even seen him. So like, I don't know how we would have celebrated this engagement without him, you know, like it.
Well, she would have. I think it would. No, I think you're right. We wouldn't have seen the actual proposal.
Yeah.
But now that she had the ring on her finger, maybe her friends could have thrown her an after party.
Yeah.
And he would have appeared, or maybe he wouldn't. And it could have just been like, this is a congratulatory party, and she could have shown pictures, and we could have been right there in the moment.
We're still on the what's going to happen with RHONY beat. Do you think that this not guarantees her, but like maybe opens up the door to her coming back for a season 3 of the reboot?
Oh,
No.
I think that she wants to keep that life private. And
Okay.
I think part of the success of their relationship is that she did keep him private and separate him from that. And she dealt with things on her own. And in your face, Bren, because Bren was like, you don't want to act like that because a man will do this, this, and this, and made it seem like she was saying these things to protect Ubah and protect her relationship. And obviously, we saw everything that went down. We saw Ubah's reaction, all of it, and all it did was get her a ring.
When a man loves you, he loves all of you.
Yep.
And that is the highs
So
and the lows, the good behavior, the bad behavior. It's unconditional. And I'm happy she deserves it. And the Bravo Labs have come out in full support. I'm curious. So whenever someone posts something, like whether it's a pregnancy announcement or engagement or whatever, like that's like a secret kind of for a little bit. And when I read the comments and someone's like, finally get to share the news, like to me, it's like them trying to make it about themselves. And Sai and Garcelle kind of left a comment of, I'm crying so hard right now that I already knew the news. And then Garcelle said, so happy we can celebrate. Hard to keep your secret. To me, it's like people just trying to be like, see, we're really good friends. I knew before all of you.
For sure. It doesn't bother me as much because maybe they feel like they don't want to lie and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, or I'm so
Yeah.
shocked. But it is self-serving.
Yeah.
I expected more from Sai, not necessarily from Garcelle, but I just don't think that they probably mean it that way. I think she really was like, it's been so hard to keep your secret. I
Yeah.
could see myself saying something like that. Like, oh, thank God, finally the secret's out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, because one of my girlfriends is also pregnant, and I knew. But when she posted it, I thought, like, how do I say this without sounding, I think I said something like, can't wait to raise our babies together, or something like that. So
Oh,
it's
see,
like,
I might say something like, finally, we get to talk about
yeah.
it. Finally. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
excited we can
Yeah.
finally talk about it. And yeah, but I get it. I get the
Maybe I'm
sentiment.
just a Psy hater. I don't know, but
You are. You are.
But happy for Ubah. Ubah hot.
But yeah, I don't think that this opens the door for her coming back. And it just highlights, and that moves into our next story, that when it comes to New York, there's just problems.
Mhm.
So it's nice to have to highlight this positive news, and there's something beautiful, even though we're not going to get to see it play out in this way. But then it's like it just doesn't stop for the New York
Franchise. It's
issues.
marred.
And I'm talking about Leah McSweeney. I mean, not saying that she shouldn't fight for herself if she feels that there was an injustice there,
Mhm.
but it just shows that when it comes to castmates, former of New York, there are issues. So New York, I mean, Leah is still going forward with her court case.
Yeah.
It's in New York Supreme Court. We don't talk about it as much. Court cases move slowly. There's a huge court case going on right now in New York. That's federal. And yeah, but we're still getting updates, and she's not backing down. And not only is she not backing down and moving forward with filing new filings and new allegations, she's also doubling down on some of the other ththings that she said. So last week, she filed in New York Supreme Court that Andy Cohen, I mean, she's coming right at for the top.
She's pointing right at him.
She said he either directly, this is a quote, either he directly requested or induced current and former Real Housewives cast members to, quote, publicly disparage McSweeney's character and propensity for truthfulness, to curry favor with Cohen in the hopes that such favor would propel their entertainment careers, end quote. Now, I haven't really seen other housewives disparaging her. Are you seeing that?
That's the thing. I haven't either. And I feel like I'm pretty plugged into the housewife beat and what they're saying and talking about. And she names people like Luann, which makes sense because they're on the same cast together. So I could see her doing press, maybe saying something shady about
But we haven't seen
Leah.
it.
But I can't think of anything off the top of my head. She mentions Kyle, Melissa, Candy, and Dorinda. Kyle, Melissa, and Candy aren't even on your franchise. So why would they speak publicly about you? And I'm sorry, Kyle doesn't need a curry favor with Andy. She's an OG Beverly Hills housewife. She has the favor. So I don't understand. And again, maybe these quotes exist, maybe, but Kyle doesn't do press like that.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but we cover news on this podcast, and I just haven't seen these. It seems like everybody's kind of staying out of it. Now, maybe they're speaking positively about Andy Cohen, and maybe that's what you're referencing.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen someone speak directly to the issue at hand and the accusations that are being made. Or maybe they simply say, I've never experienced these things. I've only had great experiences with Andy Cohen. And so maybe that is what they're referencing. But those are pretty huge allegations to make and name people directly to. And so I would think that, okay, even if we aren't, maybe there's some, she says it was in the media. They've made these claims in the media, but I like, you're really opening yourself up to other people saying, hey,
we don't know. Yeah.
You're defaming me.
Yeah.
In some of this.
And
or slandering.
And to be fair again to the other side of this, it's like Kyle Richards is going to say nice things about it. Like watching her on Housewives and on Bravo, her entire career, like they've been close. Same with Candy Burris. Like I feel like they bonded a lot over the surrogacy. Like when he was going through and trying to family plan with the surrogacy, and Candy had a surrogate for her kids later in life. Like they're really close. Melissa and Andy are close. So obviously they're going to come out and speak kindly of Andy. Like that doesn't that wouldn't surprise me either, and that wouldn't make me think that Andy asked them to do that. Like, I feel like they would defend him regardless of if he asked or not. So, all of this feels it's just I hate to
This
see it.
Yeah, this feels like it's one thing when she's making the claims about wanting to be able to attend AA and to have measures in place
Yeah.
to continue her sobriety, and that was denied. But this seems like more these allegations feel personal and like you're trying to specifically go after Andy Cohen because
Mhm.
those things don't seem to relate to the issue at hand about the sobriety.
Yeah.
But she does go on to give examples of Lisa Vanderpump appearing on The Talk and saying, I'm on Cohen's side. Okay. And then she also says Heather Dubrow said that Leah McSweeney should be thanking Bravo. And then she says Margaret Joseph said something about that this was not Leah McSweeney's claims were nothing but an attempt to assassinate Cohen's character, and that it's disgusting. And these things are quoted to have been said in public spaces, but it still doesn't mean that Andy was the one who was telling these women
Yeah.
that they need to say it. So I wonder if she's going to be able to connect that. And then she goes on to say that Andy Cohen has done cocaine with some cast members. Again, if that is true, that has nothing to do with that is an attack against, somebody's personal
Yeah,
lifestyle than it
yeah.
is as a legal claim to get people to maybe to sway the court of public opinion, which people do in lawsuits. And then she also says that he gives preferential treatment to certain stars in the franchise of course he
Yeah,
does.
I mean, we all see it as viewers. We're not blind. But again, with all these housewives and all these quotes that were pulled, all of them make sense to me. Heather Dubrow speaking highly of Annie makes sense to me. Margaret speaking highly of Annie makes sense to me. Lisa Vanderpump speaking, like, how many shows has she had on this network? Like, that makes sense to me. She's going to speak highly of him. Like, get up on the table for Andy Cohen and dance. He gave you your careers. Like, he had a baby shower filled with housewives that are
Yeah.
obsessed with him. They're going to go to bat for him. I I think it will be hard unless there are blatant text messages and discovery and stuff like that that say, "Go on this network and say this about me." But even then, is that illegal? Like, is that wrong to, like, ask someone to, like, if this is asked of you, "Can you please stand up for me?" Like, is that
Well, I think she's saying that she said induced them. So maybe that
they
either
get
there was
something
a
in
threat
return?
or they gained something in
Yeah.
return for it. So, that would be different. I don't know. And again, I'm not saying that it's not true. What I'm saying is it's going to be hard. What I haven't seen in what we have in front of us is whether or not she's able to connect the dots that he did these things. And because he did certain things, they then went out and defended him.
Mhm.
You know, of course, they're going to defend somebody who's, they've known for 14, 15
Yeah.
years versus somebody that they don't know. And I do understand that, she's making these allegations, so she believes them to be true. And I'm sure it is hurtful that you feel like nobody has your back.
Yeah.
But it's also hard for if I don't know you or I wasn't privy to these things,
Mhm.
how can I then stand up for you? I'm obviously going to assume that the person I do know or that I'm friends with wouldn't be capable of these
Mhm.
things.
And that I've only had good experiences
Most
with.
people aren't going to take the road of I'm just gonna stay out of it. Some people
Yeah.
are gonna be like, I'm gonna go to bat for my friend. And then maybe or maybe not, we'll have to eat their words later. But the whole point of this is it's still going on. I know that they tried to get some of this booted out. I think or the whole thing booted out. I think maybe some claims were, but
Mhm.
most of them seem to be able to move forward. Um, but yeah, TBD. We'll
I'm
see what
curious
happens.
where it goes
Yeah.
with Discovery, if NBC Uni settles, if we get depositions, like, all of that will be interesting, but, I mean, I don't wanna implicate myself, but I'm team Andy, and he did not ask me to say that, so
I'm not team anybody, but I will say if this goes to trial, I would like to be flown to New York and cover the trial. I would like
Will you camp
room
out
and
in
board.
the
No, I
on
wanna
the
be
side?
in the courtroom.
Okay,
I wanna be if they might not allow cameras, but they'll allow reporters in the courtroom.
but, like, the people that line up waiting outside, should we hire, like, a line filler for you so you
Oh,
don't have to wait?
absolutely
Okay,
not.
yeah,
Absolutely the fuck
yeah.
not.
Yeah, so
I
we'll
do not waste my time
so
to be in there. I wanna be
so
reporting.
so she wants to be flown out, we need to hire someone to stand in line so that when it's time to go in, she could just show up. Yeah, okay. Okay.
I just let me
Writing
in the
all of this
courtroom
down.
so I can do full reports so that I want to be able to
You have to be well
say,
rested. You can't be sleeping on the sidewalk
yeah,
waiting to
that
get into the
absolutely not.
courthouse.
Let me in. In other news, this is a little bit old, but we didn't cover it because we didn't do this last week. But
Yeah.
Erika Jayne and Jesse Solomon, it has been reported that they hooked up. Not sex, but I guess they made out. Page Six is saying an insider told them that something definitely happened. I guess after a taping at Upfront, so not that long ago,
Mhm.
they were seen talking very closely, canoodling, and it's being reported that I guess they made out.
I'm here for it.
I gotta tell you,
What?
I'm Jesse Solomon
You're
out.
done. He's oversaturated.
I just I last year I was into it. You know, we were all asking ourselves the question, what would Jesse Solomon do?
Mhm.
He was new. There was a lightness to it. There was a broness that was okay watching.
Mhm.
He could sing. We obviously followed his health journey. There was a lot there.
Lot to root for.
This season, I just am like, which is probably we're getting to know him better.
Yeah.
You know, we got the cliff notes. Now we're doing a deep dive. I'm Jesse Solomon out. I don't care. I don't care. I actually hate this for Erika.
Do you?
Yeah, yeah. If you're gonna make out with a Bravo celebrity, not the one I would have chosen. I don't think it's a flex for you, and I don't think it's. I think it's more of a flex for him.
It is a flex for him. In fairness, I think she doesn't watch Summer House nor follow anything that's going on. So there was no one probably there to tell her this ain't gonna look good if it gets out. That it would benefit him more than you. Um, but he's a cute, tall, younger gentleman. Why not? See how, it goes. He
Oh,
has
see, I don't think Jesse's cute, but that's just.
but there's a charm. There's probably a swag to him. It's similar to me like a
There's no
you
wait.
don't
There's
think so?
no swag
I
to
was gonna
Jesse.
to me, it's like an Austin Kroll where it's like, I don't get it, but, like, I could see why women flocked. Like, a tall, dark-haired,
That's the
loud
thing.
guy, like, women
Oh,
flock to that.
that is the thing. When you are over 6 feet tall, and we have a little bit of this conversation on higher learning. When you're over 6 feet tall, there's so many things that you get away with not having that people under 6 feet have to try it, have to be harder. Like, you can be 6 feet and be a blithering idiot. And I'm not saying that that is what Jesse is, but you don't have to have as much of a personality. You don't like you said he has charm. What charm does Jesse
It's
have?
tall privilege, Rachel.
Yeah, Jesse is not charming. He doesn't have riz. Like, he's a fun guy. But like he says, like, I don't think he's charming.
I think he
I
just
don't
like,
think
he
he's I
does
don't
a
think he
good
has swag.
he has
Okay.
a good job of gassing women up and, like, making them feel like
But
they're the best in the like, I
do you
don't
think that he does like I think he gasses women up, but it's so like a little brother that if Jesse Solomon came to me and was like, "You look so good," I'd be like, "Boy, stop." Like, I wouldn't be like, "Thanks. I really feel amazing about it." I just couldn't take him seriously.
I
He's
don't know. He
goofy.
is.
He's goofy, but because he's tall, he gets certain attributes attributed to him that aren't he's not deserving of, Chelsea.
Okay,
And that's my
wait,
Jesse Solomon rant. Can you tell I'm Solomoned out?
I'm just oblivious to it, I guess. I'm not in these dating streets, so, like, to me, it's like, "Oh, what a nice
It's
young
not
gentleman
even
that,
that.
like."
It's not even that. I guess I'm just over. I'm in a mood today. I am over mediocrity
Yeah.
being rewarded or being like, let's just really break these men down. And when you break them down, and it's not just Jesse, but when you break them down, they aren't exceptional. They really are
No,
mediocre.
they are.
And it's a lot of men on reality TV. Like, the women are so much more grandiose, and the men just get to be subpar, and it's excused or rewarded or celebrated. And I'm going to say it because I'm reading this book right now. So I think that is also why I'm like this, because of the patriarchy.
What book are you reading?
I'm reading this book called Erase, which is all about American patriarchy, and it's mixed with gender and race, and and capitalism, and it is really enlightening. And you really are like, when you really strip these men down, they aren't shit. We're just, and I'm sorry, we got a man. You got a man. You don't, please exclude yourself. I'm generalizing here. But so, like, we really reward them.
We do,
for not much.
Especially on this platform, especially Bravo. Bravo is very
Bachelor franchise does it too.
Reality TV.
Yeah.
Like a man, like we're talking Jesse Lally, we're talking Jax, we're talking Jesse Solomon, West, like Schwartz, both Toms. Like the bar is so low that we get excited when someone just exceeds it a little bit, and we think that that's a win. So, to me, we have to put it in its own universe. Like, like there's, we have, like, you just have to be not numb to it or dumb to it, but just like hope that this isn't a full, like,
or just not rewarded. Like, I'm not giving Jesse Solomon shit because he was shit this season. He threw women under the bus.
Yeah.
He led women on. He exaggerated and played into certain stereotypes of women in order to make himself look better. He literally sacrificed them all in the name of Jesse Solomon. So I'm really off him right now.
100% agree with you. And I hate the way that it's being played out between the women on the show. And I do. I think that he did intentionally try to pit them against each other and like isolate Lexi enough to where he could say his side of the story to the girls in the house and her not be able to articulate or like have a bond with them so that she could get some female advice about what's going on as well. Like, I do think he did that. Like, was it narcissist behavior where you just like kind of just push the person you're with to be like alone and like only have them? Like, I think he purposely did that.
Yeah.
So that she couldn't see anything else going on and then also have his team or whatever. So I 100% agree with you. I just want Erika to have some young dick and maybe.
But there's I'm all about the going after the younger guys, but he's
a hard no for Rachel.
With him, it's fine, but I'm just so over it. And it is at this time that I would like to take the suggestion of good fiction books to read because the reality is it's putting me in a mood. I need a good escape, a good fiction book to read. Please DM me. Hand me your suggestions. I'm about to go on a clearly much needed vacation. And I would like a good fiction book to
You want a romance novel or do you want
I don't need a romance novel.
Okay.
I don't know if I need that.
Okay.
But just something where I don't know
that I could
thrillers
I could throw your way.
Just get lost in a little bit. The last time I'm going to Europe, and last time I went to Europe, I read 7 Days in June or of June. And it was a love story, but it was still good.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to just like pretend for a little bit, you know?
Okay.
I'd like to pretend.
Okay, everyone DM your book recommendations for Rachel.
And now I'm going to shut up. Oh, wait, no. I thought we were going to jump into your segment. But before that, in lighter news, wait, let me just say this. I went to a retreat. Not a retreat, a retreat for myself.
Peaceful.
I went away. It was very peaceful. No, it was very peaceful. It was very peaceful. But I was reading this book while I was there.
Uh-huh.
And it's, I love going to Palm Springs and just like getting away.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they do is called an angel reading.
Uh-huh.
And they look like tarot cards, but they're a different set of cards because they're a different meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that she talks about it is these angels are here to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
And you should call on them depending on what your cards say.
Okay.
And so they're different, but the cards I've had tarot card readings before and I always love them and they always directly speak to it.
Okay.
So you're sitting around this table and I'm like towards the end. So she's going around as people are turning over 2 cards. And I never get nervous. And I can feel myself getting nervous. And I'm like, why am I nervous? I'm talking to myself in my head. Don't get nervous. That's the energy you're going to put out. You're going to put out nervous energy. You're not going to get the cards that are for you. Breathe deeply, all these things, right? So you're supposed to tap on the cards. There's a crystal over you. You tap on the cards. You say your birthday and month. And of course, I'm like, April 21st, I'm a Taurus, Scorpio. Because I want her to know my full, like
Yeah.
how I
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
emotions, my rising. Turn the cards over. First 2 cards. Healing and blessing.
Oh.
And she goes, wow, you're really going through something.
Oh, no.
Burst into full tears. Burst into full, I could cry now. Burst into full tears. And I was like, I knew I was going to cry. I could feel like the nervous energy. Anyways, it actually was like really good news. She was like, you've really been going through something.
Yeah.
But she was like, so you're healing. She was like, these 2 cards. She goes, it is, and I always get this kind of stuff too. It's always rare. Whatever I pull, it's always rare. So she was like, there are only 2 cards that deal with one angel, the angel of healing, Raphael. And she was like, you pulled both of them, the only ones. So she was like, you've really been going through something, but the blessing ones is you're divinely blessed. And so she goes, I'm telling you, whatever you went through, you're never going to go through that again.
Okay.
So it was really beautiful.
Yeah.
So I said that because it just made me think of healing. I'm trying to be healed. try to go move forward. So in lighter news, we're getting a new franchise back, which is great. Which is why I got into Housewives also for the
healing?
for the escape.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So I started watching Bravo and Housewives because I wanted to escape the reality of practicing law and all of that. And it's heavy and it's like, what can I turn on where I can just watch people be messy and lose myself in it, but also admire them for their courage to be able to do something that I can't do. And then I went on to do it. But we're getting a new show.
Yeah.
Real Housewives of London. Very exciting. Not only did they announce it, but now we already know who's going to be a part of it. We're getting some familiar faces. Ladies of London alum Juliet. Angus will be returning. Amanda Cronin, who's got ties to Meredith Marks and Dorinda. Real Housewives of Jersey alum. I don't know where that is. It's not New Jersey, but Jersey. Karen Loderick Peace. We get a former actress and pageant queen. We know that means drama. Another Juliet, who is also best friends with Caroline Stanbury. Hopefully that means we get an appearance from her. And then we have a socialite, Pantha Parker, and a businesswoman, Nessie Welshinger. So sounds like we have a well-rounded cast. Some people who are tied to other housewives, which means hopefully they're getting the tidbits on the do's and the don'ts. I like the housewives that they're tied to because there's dramatics with that. But yeah, your thoughts?
I think this is exciting. I think it's I'm confused. I get confused. So this is actually going to be on Hayu, not on Bravo. So this is like the Bravo equivalent
What are we
of
supposed
the
to
UK.
do?
And so
Well, I'm mad again. Is it going to be on Peacock?
I would hope so.
Because otherwise, why are you announcing this?
I would hope so because I've been seeing a lot more I don't know how to pronounce it, Hayu stuff online. And so I do think that it is. We get the reboot of Ladies of London on Bravo. So that's what like Bravo's going to be doing, which they haven't announced the cast for that yet. But getting Ladies of London alum Juliet for this Housewives Hayu franchise is exciting. And I do believe a couple weeks ago we were laughing, saying Chanel Ayan was just, wishful thinking.
She was telling us.
She was telling us. She was right.
Knew something.
She knew something. Queen Chanel Ayan is in these streets. She knows what's going on. So I'm excited. I do hope we get to see it somehow. I would hope and think it'd be on Peacock.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. I mean, I don't know if there's any connection between the 2 networks, but I also could see
Hayu is basically
it
like
upfronts?
Bravo's UK arm. So I do
Okay.
believe that it's like they are connected in that.
So, but I could also see them not wanting to compete because if we're getting Ladies of London, then I don't think they want people to compete or people think they're getting a little too much of something.
Yeah.
So that's a little alarming to me. Maybe it'll be one of those things where it'll fully air and then they'll give it to us on Peacock.
Yeah, which I'd be fine with. I love a good binge
I'm fine
drop.
with that too.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that too. Just give us something. Otherwise, I mean, what a tease, you know?
Yeah.
What a tease. Or may I offer another suggestion?
Please.
You get to fly us, the morally corrupt ladies, out to the UK so we can do our proper research and watch this and then come back. So when it's done, we can binge it and then come back.
I do like London.
Yeah, I've never been.
I want to go back.
I've never been.
do like it.
All right, now this is on you, Chelsea. I've talked enough. I need to shut up. Shut me up.
A lot of drama has been going on online in the world of Real Housewives of New Jersey of yesteryear. So the current cast know nothing about them. But my favorite iteration of New Jersey is the OG version with Dina Manzo, Caroline,
Nothing better.
Teresa, Danielle Staub. So good. So good. So it's nice to have the Manzo family back in the mix and the drama and stuff like that. So Gia Giudice has a podcast. Don't know if you listen.
You know how I feel. I hate the name Casual Chaos. I went on a whole rant about that.
So on her podcast, she had Lexi, who is Dina Manzo's daughter. So
I remember
we
her as a
remember,
child.
yes, Lexi is a young girl. We saw her in the early seasons of Real Housewives of New Jersey. Really cute kid, beautiful young woman now. And so for those who don't know the backstory, Dina Manzo was an OG New Jersey housewife, and she is sisters with Caroline Manzo. They married brothers. So
I don't know if I realized that.
yes. So Caroline married Albie Manzo, and then Dina married Tommy Manzo. Tommy isn't her daughter's father. She that's her stepdad.
Before.
Yeah. So they married brothers. And they both own this big event space in New Jersey called the Brownstone.
Oh, we miss it.
Yes. And producer Belle actually is from New Jersey, and she said she has gone to many events at the Brownstone. So to me, I was just like,
wow.
Yeah, like you've been it through history. So yes. So the Brownstone in Paterson, New Jersey. Dina and Tommy get divorced. And after Dina leaves Real Housewives of New Jersey, she leaves New Jersey. She goes to California. And the thing with the Manzos is they're always fighting. They're always fighting about something. They're a large family. And it could be Jacqueline, her husband Chris, and Dina fighting. It could be Caroline and Chris, and like there's always like an issue with the siblings. But for the longest time, Dina and Caroline have had some beef, and we don't really know what it's about. Caroline tried to allude to it on one of the reunions that it had something to do with Teresa, like Teresa was the reason why she doesn't talk to her family anymore, something like that. We don't know fully. But Dina moves to California. She starts this new life. She meets a man. His name is Dave Canton. And so Dave, who she remarries in 2020, and according to a release issued in December of 2020 by New Jersey U.S. Attorney, he alleges that this Lucchese crime family soldier had pled guilty to planning and carrying out an aggravated assault on Dave Canton, Dina's husband, in 2015.
Okay.
Now, this assault was went awry because I don't think they thought Dina was going to be there. So Dina was there.
Well, it happened twice.
Yes.
So the first time he assaulted him, just him, and then he came back.
Yes.
Okay.
And assaulted Dina as well. I believe she got pistol whipped, like really horrible, horrible stuff. This Lucchese crime family soldier, like this is crazy to me. I think you see this on Sopranos, not on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. But because these brothers own this brownstone, basically what has been alleged and what Tommy Manzo has been convicted of is hiring this man to beat up Dina's current husband because of jealousy. In exchange for hiring him to carry out this crime, he would get a free wedding for his daughter at the Brownstone.
That's crazy. People will do anything like that. Like, how much was that worth?
I don't know. I don't know what weddings go for in the tri-state area, but I mean,
but it's just a wedding venue. It's not even the whole
I
wedding.
think he gets catered food and an open bar, but we'll throw that in. You get an extra punch in or two. So yes, so this happens, and the fallout was immense. I remember when I heard about it, it was shocking. We hear that Caroline wrote a character witness letter for Tommy, the man who
her
is convicted,
brother-in-law.
her brother-in-law, of setting up her blood sister of getting
Well, I
beat.
would imagine that Tommy is saying he didn't do it.
He did plead not guilty,
Because
but
remember, it's like Andy. Like, she wants to believe that her brother-in-law is not capable of harming her sister, but to go to the lengths of writing a letter is wild.
I would not.
Keep that to yourself.
Yeah, I would not. So fast forward to today. Lexi is on Gia's podcast, and she's talking about her experience through all of this. And her experience is that it was traumatizing, and it's been really hard for the cousins because also remember in the first couple seasons, the Lexi, Caroline's kids, Lauren, Albie, Chris, they were all really
Wow,
close.
good job remembering all those names.
They're just like ingrained in my
Wow.
they were all really close. And so for Lexi, like she was explaining, like, yeah, it was really hard. Like I had these like close cousins. I was the only child, and like they were like siblings to me. And all this happens. My mom and my aunt are fighting, and it kind of like separated us. Like even though we had nothing to do with it, like we don't have a relationship anymore. And she goes on to say, like, once Tommy went away, he kept all of Lexi's belongings. And like the way in which they tell it is kind of creepy. Is this was her stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
He kept her room as is. Like once Dina and her left after the divorce, he kept her childhood room as is, untouched.
He kicked them out the house.
Yes, and left her room completely as is.
Mm-hmm.
So he had all of her like childhood toys, clothes, like family heirlooms, gifts from grandparents, all that stuff, in his property. And once he was away, they were doing some type of estate sale, and she got wind of it and wanted to get her stuff back. So she reached out to her cousin Lauren to try to get this stuff. And she very clearly says in this interview, look, my view of things is I don't feel like they did enough to help me, but they might think that they did everything they can.
Mm.
And I think that's a mature thing to say as a young 20-something-year-old woman. Then the Manzos get involved. And they didn't like that because they felt like they're now being painted as Tommy sympathizers, which they are.
Yeah.
And Lauren comes on and she starts to defend herself and she basically says everything that Lexi says. Is like, she may not think that we did everything we could, but we did do everything we could. And I'm like, she said that.
Yeah.
And she breaks down what she did do and how complicated it was to try to get access to Tommy and stuff like that. And then once he did get convicted, like they were kind of axed out of the family as well. But they never address the letter, which gets me, is they'll go on and defend, like, we're a good family, we love Dina, we love Lexi, blah, blah, blah. But they will never address why Caroline wrote a letter.
They're not going to go against the mother.
And that to me is like, you could say whatever you want. But the fact that this woman wrote a letter defending the abuser of her sister, like, to me speaks volumes.
I have to say, I don't know why it was necessary for Lexi to get on a podcast and say this.
So that's what the Manzos feel. And
I'm not defending the Manzos. I think they're wrong.
No.
But
I guess
like,
Lexi has like some product coming out soon.
The way you just said it.
What did I say?
Of course. How could I not think about that? Of course.
She has a product. I don't know what the product is, but that's why she was on the podcast. And so they feel like she's using it to promote whatever she has coming out soon.
Did you listen to the podcast?
No, I listened to clips on TikTok.
I'm curious if she did.
That's what they feel. Is there truth to it? Who knows? Maybe.
I mean, there's absolute not defending the Manzos here because they do seem to be in the wrong. They seem to want to be both siding there, right? Like, we helped you, but we're also going to defend family. And we're just going to look past the fact that he was just convicted of literally almost killing you. You know, who knows what could have happened.
Yeah, it's awful.
But she definitely went on because she has something to promote, because how else would we know? I forgot about all of this. This is a wild story that we didn't need to know about, that seems to have happened years ago. No, he's scheduled to be sentenced so this just happened. Tommy is scheduled to be sentenced. And oh wait,
Last year.
sorry, I'm thinking it's 2024. So we don't know. So okay, this happened last year, and now yes, the timing is convenient.
Mhm.
Lexi, let me just say, Lexi obviously has the right to tell her story. I'm
Yeah.
not taking that away from her. But I am allowed to ask why. And I think I would be, to be honest, I think part of that is I would be terrified if these things happened, if my stepdad was convicted of attacking me and my mom. How do I know that he's not making other
Arrangements to do
arrangements to
so.
do it
Yeah.
again? I would just be so scared. I'd want to put this behind me. I'd be thankful that my new stepfather and my mom are okay, that
Yeah.
I'm moving on. And I would just, I don't know. That would be me. I would be scared. But maybe she finds power in telling her story for the first time. Who knows? But she is there to promote a product. And that is hilarious to me.
I'm sorry. Like, this is maybe one of my Bravo Roman empires. Like, this whole family dynamic and what happened with Dina is something that I will always, like,
Because I
wonder
remember when it
about.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And the brownstone of it all, like, very, like, Italian Sopranos, like, what you see in TV
The
and movies.
Manzos.
Yes. So, like, to me, it's, like, so compelling. So, I don't care if she was slinging merch or whatever. I'm happy she came out and talked about it because
Yeah.
it's something that's, like, always, like, in the back of my mind. Will Dina and Caroline ever make up?
She needs to write a fictional book so she can
Oh.
tell her truth through fiction. That's the beauty about it. What? It's fiction. What? It's fiction.
That's
She's
a
to write
good
a
call.
book /series/movie. I would watch the Manzos, or it can't be the Manzos, so it would have to be like
The Giadas.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I love
And
this.
it's not the brownstone, it's the gemstone.
Yeah. Yeah. And not Tom Patterson. It's like in.
They weren't on Real Housewives, they were on Real Ladies.
Yes.
Real Ladies and then pick a different city. Like the works.
I love this.
Danielle Staub comes back.
Yeah. Her
She-
name's
No, we keep
Cynthia.
it the same.
Oh, we keep
Because
her.
we change her story to make it fictional.
Yeah.
We keep the name.
We keep the name.
Keep the name. That's what you need to do with it, because I'm like, it's not my Roman Empire, but it is quite fascinating.
We should.
I need a family tree.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll do it. Lexi, we'll do it.
I think
Forget it. We'll do it.
we should compile all the great ideas that you've had for Bravo and Bravo Labs and just package it up, put it in a reel, pitch deck, send it out to people. Ask for our 10%.
Put me in a room. Put me in a room. Mic me up.
I'm here for it. But yeah, that's been consuming me this past week. So I've been fed.
You fed me.
Yeah.
I've been creatively inspired.
You're gonna write a book. So
I'm gonna write a book.
you're gonna go to Europe, you're gonna write this book. No more book recommendations.
Book.
She is gonna write a book instead. She doesn't need to read one, she's going to write one.
Wow. Now I have to listen. Damn it. I gotta listen to Gia's podcast.
I could send you the clips.
No. For investigative,
Oh,
for
yeah,
journalistic.
Yeah, you're right. You can't. You have to
listen.
go full throttle if you're gonna write this book.
Damn.
Yeah.
Casual chaos. That's how I feel right now.
You can listen times two.
And by that I mean it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Thank you. I love Chelsea Explains. I feel like I was just read a bedtime story.
It's so good, right?
It's so good. I hope you guys enjoyed it the same way. Sorry for the rant.
Everyone needs it. It was inspiring.
Oh, I'm healing.
And you're blessed.
Wait. What is Ashley's song? I'm healing and thriving and surviving. That is me.
That is you.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Actually was very therapeutic for me. Make sure you guys tune in Friday to catch us there, where we will be doing our recaps per usual. Have a beautiful week. Have a positive week. If you are going through something, take some time to heal. Call on Raphael. Bye, guys. See you Friday.